science of entanglement, which is really what the law of attraction is. It's entanglement, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a bit about theory here, and this has been great from the last section, okay? If you really can't wait to get into the scientific theory, then you're probably more logical and intuitive, okay? So there is a correlation between the results of measurements performed on entangled pairs, okay? So these two particles that you can see images of here, okay? If they're entangled, i.e. linked in some way, okay, then we see similar results, okay? So what does that mean? Quantum entanglement, 2 more points here. This correlation between the two particles is observed even though the entangled pair may have been separated by arbitrarily large distances, and part of the transfer happens instantaneously. I.e., if you change one particle, okay, and it's entangled, it's attracted to, it's part of the network of another particle, it will change even if there's a big distance, and it can happen instantaneously. So the monkeys, remember, you had the ones on the beach, the ones in the rainforest, and ones hundreds of miles away. They were entangled communities of monkeys. One of them changed, and guess what? The other one changes as well. And then the one hundreds of miles away. And it was instantaneous, pretty much, or can be, the start of it being instantaneous. So it's like this consciousness idea. It's this idea, this is a great example. You've got two twins, in different parts of the world, and one of them just senses that something great or something has happened with the other one. They pick up the phone, are you okay? And actually, how did you know I was in hospital? It's that kind of just that awareness that does happen because we are particles, we are nature, we are matter. Okay? So, for whatever reason, the people that I talked about were part of my network. Okay? That's what I did. You just attract it. You particularly attract it with people that you're close to and know well. You think, oh, I'd love some spaghetti for dinner. And guess what? Your flatmate or friend comes back and goes, oh, I'm going to cook spaghetti tonight. That's particularly common. All right, not just spaghetti, but other things. So if you want to do some shopping or want to plan to have a lovely meal tonight, just think and vision, but attract what you are. If you don't eat pasta, you're probably not going to attract pasta, are you? Okay, it's fake. All right, so you really want to think about what you can attract. Now, these are otherwise known as telepathy, the transmission of information from one person to another without using any of our known sensory channels or physical interaction. Okay, telepathy, well, we're getting weird and wacky now. A lot of people would suggest that we used telepathy a lot before we had mobile phones. I'm talking about our ancestors, and that was a way of changing, of intentions, of communicating. If there was a flood, people could sense that flood across different parts of the land. The law of attraction, as we've talked about here, is the belief that like attracts like, and that by focusing on positive or negative thoughts, one can bring about positive or negative results. Now, you might have noticed earlier there was a typo in my second slide. And funny enough, when I was writing it, just before I came on, I was thinking, oh, I hope there's not, I found 3 typos, didn't double check it, double check it. So I hope I don't find a typo again. And guess what I did? I almost attracted that typo, okay? It came up because I was thinking about it, okay? So it can be the positive or negative, okay? You see it a lot, talk about sports, it's how you think and feel. If you think you're going to lose the game and everyone else in the stadium thinks you're going to lose the game, you probably will because that's what you're attracting. Right, so giving and receiving, a good metaphor here, it's a bit like technology, okay? If you're giving, you're broadcasting something out, you need broadband to pick it up and a device, okay? Right now I am broadcasting, okay? At some point you're going to use your broadband and a device to pick that up, okay? That's attraction, that works, okay? If everything's working nicely, okay? You, on the other hand, need your device, broadband and broadcast in the kind of same steps, but backwards, obviously. Okay. Now, of course, we know full well if your broadband's not working or if mine crashes in a minute, we're going to have a problem with our giving and receiving of this communication, aren't we? Okay. Same is true in the law of attraction, entanglement theory. It's the same thing, really. Okay. By that, we need to be broadcasting well and be able to receive it appropriately. Okay. So if you're open to broadcasting stuff out into the world, setting a goal right now, going, right, some point this week, I want someone to make me a gorgeous dinner with spaghetti. Okay, you broadcast that. If someone in your network picks up on it, then it may come into being. If they don't, it might be because they're so busy they're not going to pick up the device. In this case, kind of telepathy, if you like, in many ways. Okay, and it is really spooky. Just keep looking out for these things. They're out there all the time, and it's probably going to happen now. Look out for synchronicities this week because you're probably going to start thinking about, oh, that person I need to get in touch with, or that spaghetti, or whatever. Because what you can do, of course, is intention engineering, which is basically a great way for secret number 2, the law of attraction, put it into practice. If you place enough attention, take notice, you can engineer an intention, aim or plan. Your intention might manifest itself just like magic. Okay? So just start thinking about something. You know, do a bit of research. You have to take action as well. You just can't sit on a chair and wait for these things to happen and land in your lap. And really, because, as I say here, about everything is energy, and we go into this a lot more in the mastery course, everything is energy, everything you're standing on, sitting on, lying on around you. Your positive energy will spread, others will sense this and sometimes respond in a way that might facilitate your intentions. It literally goes out as a broadcast. People call it like energy soup. You know, it just goes out there. It gets picked up on, you know, and you'll be picking up on other people's energy as well.